Welcome to episode 140. It is the spring edition, so Q1 2024 of Ball Python and Hognose prices. Everybody's here. Some people are here. Shane, banana. How many bananas are there? Sorry, Banana, not banana. My mistake. Banana, Will, Ravenpaw. What's up? Jen, Nicholas, Adrian, Chris. I'm sure more people will come in. Let's do our sponsor shout outs. Shane Kelley, Small Town Xotics, fine breeder of ball pythons, hognose, some leopard geckos, boas in the future, hypothetically. Keeps tarantulas, has a YouTube channel. Everybody knows him. Everybody loves him. His sponsor update is that his breed share arrangement with Leviathan Snakes has produced sunsets. So congratulations, Shane and Leviathan, for more sunsets in the world. I don't even remember the pairing. I should remember. Shane, shout it out if you're in the chat still. Eileen of Bravo Zulu Ball Pythons. She's a veteran, women-owned breeder. She's breeding ball pythons, Dominican red mountain boas. I think she has house snakes now, which is very cool. Her update is she's busy with school and just chugging along. So check her out on Morph Market and follow her on Instagram, please. Thank you, Eileen. Justin Brill, Stoneage Ball Pythons. His update is he has a roof now. Congratulations. We've met the minimum standard for housing of human beings. And I appreciate it. I think that's a W to have a roof. The tree did not win, after all. He'll be at Packnors in Hillsboro at April 20th and 21st. We love that. Very good. Who else will be there? Andrew of Powerhouse Pythons will also be there. He's got 2 ball python clutches in the incubator, a bunch new to drop, a mega shit ton of leopard gecko eggs. Very fun. And the golden dragon himself, the aforementioned Justin, was there to install breakers in the snake room. So that's very cool. We are all sticking together in the PNW. Thank you, Andrew, for sponsoring. Go to him for some gopher cocoa or rodents or ball pythons or leopard geckos. Check it out. Gray Family Snakes. Not too many updates. They're still looking forward to their VPI Xanthic clown clutch. They'll be putting stuff on Morph Market as it comes out, and they're working on finishing the snake room in the next week or so. That's very cool. Thank you, Gray Family Snakes. Please follow them on Instagram and Morph Market. And last but not least, Crass Venus Reptilia. 2 ball python clutches in the ground. Some more coming. He still has some 2023 Hypo Het Clown stuff and double hets with Codoms if you're into Hypo Clown, which everybody should be because it's pretty fun. He started a first pairing of colubrids, and the Tarahumars, the Costa Ricans, and the Logicata are looking very gravid. So hopefully that will be out in the world soon. And also looking forward to some blood python eggs. Thank you, Chris at Venus Reptilia, for sponsoring the podcast. I did it. I forgot this part, though. FetDNA.com. Hashtag shit happens. Okay,
you did it. You got through it
fuck. All. It's
Good
so
work, team.
hard. Who else came in? Raven. Lilac Hollow. Morphmaster. Long John. No meetings as well. Tara. Acacia. Aaron. Oh, double here.
With double here, yeah.
Balls deep. Emma. Carissa. And Mission Morphs. Thank you for coming. Let's get into it. Are you ready?
Yeah, we're doing the stonk report, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's your before you collected the data? What were you expecting?
That's a good question. I was expecting it to sort of even off because tax money would.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. That's gonna tail out.
Yeah, because tax money would come in, but people would feel less full, and so they would be less likely to take a lower price or list for a lower price. So they'd be
I feel like it's gonna plateau a little bit a little bit. That's my guess. I haven't seen the data, obviously, so it's all new to
That's
me.
what I thought was going to happen.
But I'm wondering if the auctions of certain things have changed it. But I don't know if those numbers, the auctions don't affect the price. It just says the animal sold. So it's $1,000 animal, but it auctioned at $500. It's still going to say $1,000 animal sold, right?
No, I'll show you that. I'll show you what happens.
All right,
it's coming. All right, ready? So this is our ball pythons in the whole. It's hard to see now. The graph is so big. So there's 45,000, 50,000. Here's us way over here. We're sub 40,000. Congratulations. So this quarter starts here and goes here. We're going down. That's good.
It's a pretty consistent drop, right?
Yeah, it used to be like there was a time where they would flatten out like midweek and go down over the weekend as shows happened or whatever.
I think this
and
is
it still does that.
Auctions.
There's this like stair step, and this is the 500 that got taken away when the old 2021 listings got unholded.
Yeah.
Right.
Get out of here.
But otherwise, it looks fine. I'm not upset by the. This is good. This is healthy. I feel like healthy things are happening. Do you feel healthy about this graph?
Yeah. What's that one blip right there?
This was the
one outlier.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. I even asked the morpher. I'm like, there was like a rapture where 2,000 listings disappeared and then reappeared the next day.
Oh,
they all came right back. They just weren't being queried or something.
Oh, it's possible. They've been doing a lot of backdoor updates. I could see something like that dropping out.
So that happened here and hypothetically here.
Yeah, but I don't know. The graph looks good. I think we're going to see an uptick, but I think because so many people got out, so many people have trimmed back, I think this is going to be 2024. I think it's going to hover around 40,000, if not even 35.
By summertime?
Yeah. By fall. Like by the time everyone's hatching out for the fall Tinley, right?
So you think this fall's peak will be shorter than 2023's peak?
Yes.
October? Yeah, I fucking hope so. I think
it will be.
This fall's peak is shorter than next fall's peak. I don't know where like the healthy summer doldrum number is. I don't know what that is. You know, like there's less sales in the summer period, but people are still putting stuff up. There's still some leftover stuff. What is the healthy summer doldrum number? 20,000? I don't know.
I think that's too low.
You do?
Like
20,000 used to be our high.
Right, but
2 years ago.
But we also have to understand like there's been growth, right? Breeders are sticking around. Breeders like that's the thing is the industry is always going to grow, so the number is always going to continue to creep up anyway. If it stagnates at 20,000 as always our peak, then our industry is never actually growing. We're never bringing in new people, really.
Or they're in such high demand, they go away from morph market faster.
That too, but I would think at the same time, you still see a higher number, right? You still see.
Yeah, I would think like, and also like
track it. Yeah.
Like the more people who use morph market, the more hypothetical listings there could be, and maybe not as many people were using morph market pre last year. They were able to sell them at shows, so they didn't put them on morph market.
Bit of everything, probably.
Yeah.
Wholesalers are closed off, right? So.
Yeah, I don't know what the number should be either. I just like that the animals that are on morph market are different. They're not the same one sitting. That we finally like broken through the logjam. Right. All right, clown time. So I'll try to read everything specifically for the audio only people. Clown is down. Males are down. Males are on this side. Females are on this side to match this. Down 9.92%, and females are down 12.37%. And this seems bad. But you see how it's like just kind of bobbing To me, this is like price stability.
But the percentage just seems different. Like if you said, "Oh, the price dropped from 160 for males down to 145," nobody would be like, "Oh, that's 10% drop. It's crazy."
But it's not. To me, this is not crazy.
I agree with you. I'm just saying the
Yeah.
10% number kind of scares people just because it says 10%, but the actual number of the dollar isn't that big of a deal.
Right. To me,
I think that's right. That seems right.
This is price stability. We've found it. It exists.
Since Q3, pretty much.
Right. So you don't have to make your clowns $20 or whatever. This is okay. I'm okay with all that. It did like go down, but I don't know. You know, some of these, just as like a reminder, there's been some problems. Like the auctions are a problem because they leave like there's no response, and then like because we're in 2024 now, a lot of the clowns sold were baby 2022s, so they are technically omitted from this because they've aged out of the
right. They've aged out of the data.
Right, a lot of them sold now have been sitting inventory from 2022 as babies that was listed in 2022. Like that's how long it took us to price things correctly. Let me put that correctly. Price them in a way that they would sell. So a bunch of, not all of these categories have as many sales in them as they hypothetically should because they aged out their category. It's very strange. GHA Clown, it's also down. But I feel like it's bobbing. What do you think?
That makes sense. GHA Clown down 15% males and 23% females. Sounds about right. There was a big drop even in 2023, right?
Yeah, all at once too. It felt like for males.
Yes.
But now it's bobbing. I like bobbing.
But now I feel like that's right. Like even though there's not a ton of them out there, it's still an older, like virtually a 15-year-old gene mixed with
one gene
with clown, right? Clown is super common, and so it's common with a common now. That seems right. You know, instead of $150 for a male clown ball python, you're getting like $300 for a male for just adding GHI. That's pretty solid, actually. And $500 for.
I mean, they look cool. I think they're getting like the cool look bonus.
Yeah, for sure. Put hypo in it. You look great.
Right. And they're doing better than bananas. So even though female bananas did go up, banana clowns, by 23.89%, males are down 17.7%. But this still feels like bobbing. Like we're just oscillating around the same prices.
Yeah, we're pretty much plateauing, right?
Yes, I love plateaus.
That's pretty like what I expected to happen, which I figured would happen. Banana clowns coming down, like there's some big drops. I saw some of them for like females for like $1,500 like 6 months ago, and now they're down to like $600. So
right, well, we've squeezed all the squeeze out of the price, I think. So I don't think people need to like spaz out necessarily anymore. Just list them for if you think you deserve a higher price point in like the bell curve of pricing because you have better marketing, better pictures, better biosecurity, whatever. List it for the higher part of the bell curve. If you think you want them to sell really fast, list it for the lower part of the bell curve. But they don't have to be $20. Is that fair?
That would be fair. I think the confusion might be is how fast they want to, how long do they want to sit on it, right?
Yeah, that's always the problem because some people want to sit on it no time, and so we'll undercut everyone $500. And some people want to sit on it a moderate amount of time and will come in the middle. Some people think they're special and deserve 2 standard deviations above the mean. You know what I mean? You know those people. I know them.
I do know them. And then they're stuck with last year's babies when this year's babies are coming out from other people, right?
Right. But there's a fair price for a banana clown. And I think
there is.
You know, I don't know. Obviously, with the sale function not showing the final sale price, you could probably scrape 20 or 30% off of a lot of these in general.
Yeah, between 10 and 30%. You could easily do that.
Right. So just keep all that in mind. Desert Ghost is still falling.
Those female prices are so crazy.
It's because some people are still, they're putting them on sale. So a lot of the Desert Ghost prices are sale
Yeah, I just meant the history of it is so funky. $400 up to $1,200. It tripled at one point, and then back down to $400. Seems about right.
Yeah, it's what happened. It's just, it's not. I don't know. And it wasn't specifically because of COVID, because I split sales apart pre-COVID and post-COVID, like
Yeah.
March 2020. It was because of Justin posting one for $1,000 one day.
Oh yeah.
Independently. That's
and
why
then-
they did that.
But then people bought them at that high price. Lots
Right,
of
so
people
it's
bought
fine.
them.
He tried it and it happened.
It
So
worked.
right.
Yeah, that's a crazy discrepancy though.
Right. Usually like a healthy male female price ratio is something like this, you know, like
Yeah, usually they're like within spitting distance of each other.
yeah, and males should be cheaper once they become common because they're not as breedable.
But yeah,
But-
male desert ghosts have pretty much plateaued, I would think. And then the females are going to, you'll see the next, by the end of 2024, that'll just be a plateau, I think.
Yes. Yes. All right. Puzzle is starting to plateau also. Both of them are up, but sub
virtually
10%, it like almost doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, $50 difference on 1,000 isn't a big deal.
Right. And you can find male puzzles for $500 occasionally.
There was one at auction here in Canada for like, I think it went for like 300. Pastel
What?
puzzle. Pastel puzzle had hypo plus that G stripe.
What?
It might have went for 5. I saw the last auction was 300, but it might have went for 5. It was like a yearling.
Right.
Maybe-
Like,
If any Americans want to make a steal, go look at Canadian auctions on a regular.
like on holdback auctions, they were going for between 5 and 6 ish.
Yeah, yeah. I
So,
think
like-
the pastel had made it, and the fact it was Canadian.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then the pastel puzzle, the males are up a little bit and the females are down a little bit, but they're still like bobbing and weaving around $900.
Yeah,
$950 for males and $925 for females.
I kind of expected a bit of a slide there in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
I think the males are going to get around 5. People seem to hate pastel when the market's down.
Well, there's been a lot of like other puzzles that have come out around the same price point, and they're cooler looking, and they're not the same. Like there's been like black pastel puzzles for like $1,000 and Mojave puzzles for $1,500, or like so like you could buy something else hypothetically.
Yes.
Yeah. Sunset, and this is a reminder. This is the full graph, but it's hard to tell what the hell's going on if you keep 2018 in there. But just in case people are like, oh, there's too much of a price drop. Like it was this to 2019, 24,000 to 6,500. So this is without 2018. So Sunset is going down, which is correct because like there were snakes already for sale in the third quarter and fourth quarter that were way cheaper than this, but they just weren't selling yet. So they're finally selling around 2,000-ish for both genders.
I think the male price is a little bit of a lie, but
I think both of them are a little bit of a lie, but they'll come down as like, because a lot of people are selling them with a sale function,
yes.
right? So they're not showing the sale price, which is fine. People are price protecting or whatever. But eventually people are going to figure out that you can regularly see sunsets that shows for $1,000. What do you think about that? And so maybe they don't want to spend $2,000 on a mail online. They want to spend $1,300 because they like that seller. Or
Yeah,
$1,500 or
They're being
whatever.
produced by a lot of different people now, right? So I definitely think that price is going to become a little more competitive.
Mm-hmm. And this isn't like a normal male-female price ratio either. So you can tell there's artificiality.
Yeah,
in the
males.
price.
I don't think 2,000 for a sunset for a female is crazy.
No, it's fine. It's female.
I think 2,000 for a male is probably almost double what it's worth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just watch any of the videos of sunsets at Tinley where they're panning across them and look at the prices.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know show prices are different than online prices, but I'm just saying.
But I mean, if they're show prices, it generally means you can ask that person like online and be like, "Hey, you still have this? I'll pay for your show price." They'll take a show price.
Yeah, they were going to take it at that show, weren't they?
Yep. Why not?
Dreamsicle, the female went down a bunch, but like they're doing the bob thing again.
Yeah, so they're plateauing. I think you'll see a little bit of incremental drop. I think you'll see dreams at males for like 500. I've heard of them already being on wholesale lists. I've seen lower ones. There's a ton of dreamsicle auctions going on.
Okay.
Like at least one a week.
Right. What's weird? Maybe I'll show you the data. I don't know. Whatever.
I'm curious about, this is the one I was curious about because I knew there was a ton of auctions for this stuff, right? ODL,
right,
dreamsicles, all that stuff. Lots of females. All went for like less than $1,000.
All for less than $1,000. I think that you could almost cut this number in half, and that would be like a fair show price. Both genders.
Yes, it's a very old double recessive. That is very old recessives.
Right. Here's what's crazy about dreamsicle though, is it there's a lot of them, but they sell a lot.
Yes.
If that makes any sense. Like the number of units sold is always the most of any double. Like a lot of people like it and a lot of people buy it. It's not like somebody makes 5 and they sit on morph record for 2 years. People make 100, 200, and they sell all year long because people like it.
If you just want to make a dreamsicle factory, you would probably sell out every year.
Yeah.
I don't care what your price is, but you'll always sell out.
Right.
They're very cool to look at on tables, online. They're very cool pictures.
Mm-hmm.
They pass the grandma test in every way.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm not, even though like the price has come down a lot since, I don't know, the beginning of 2023, for example. I don't know. Like it feels like a thriving, healthy corner of the hobby because people buy them and like them, and pet people buy them and like them.
Right. It's steady. It's like one of those, it's like your meat and potatoes, if you want to look at it that way.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like this is stability. Highbill Clown did a lot of like weird crap this time. I think this is probably a more normal ratio than what happened last quarter.
Yes.
Because there were some really expensive ones sold that were older, the last 2 ones, but now I had to exclude them. So like this is a more normal ratio. So I think this is the more normal price.
This is kind of where I put the prices. I'm hoping to produce a bunch this year. So, well, produce some. I'm just hoping I get really good odds, and the whole clutch is just hypo clowns.
I like hypo clown though. The females were down 34%.
Yeah, from 1,500 to 1,000. That's not crazy though. 1,500 to 1,000. That's kind of an expected drop from like 2023 to 2024.
Yeah, but in all of these years, people have been always selling females for $600 just randomly. It's just like there were other people selling them for 1,800, which would drag up the mean.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Another old, not very many of them compared to dreamsicles.
No,
but 2 old genes as well.
They're just, I think they just got overlooked a lot.
Hypo just gets overlooked. Hypo is a bad rep.
Mm-hmm. Vampire, this one did take all the L's in the world.
Just dropped the percent.
Just in general, but like, it feels stable now. What do you think?
I agree. 15% drop for males. But that's only like 960 to 8. Yeah, it's fine. You're right. It's such an odd thing to take all the L's because Pied is popular, like as its own gene, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Clown is super popular. Like you can argue those are 1-2 popularity across the hobby on all levels, and yet the combination of them holds all the L's.
But it didn't used to. Like it wasn't.
Nope. Just 2023. People said F this.
Yeah, all at once.
You're screwed.
So now, like, you can regularly find male doubles clown pies for $750. A lot. Or less.
Right.
So, oh well. It's fine. Just put stuff in it. This one, like, there's nothing even really to say because everyone has occluded almost every single sale by making it an auction. So, like, only 1 or 2 males sold. And so the average is $3,000, even though that's not the price of a DG clown. And no females sold that I could record the value for. So I just got really mad when I was doing this. I was like, fuck all of you. You're all including the price of something because you're mad it got cheap. But then, like, how is anybody supposed to buy anything if they don't know the price and they just have to wait around until it goes on sale?
This is the oddest price, the oddest combination that we have in the market. Hey, Chris. It's so crazy. I can't even describe it, right? Because, like, you hear prices of what? $2,000 at shows. I know there was a ready to breed Enchi DG clown male in one of the first auctions that ended at 2,000. It was a no reserve auction, one of the first ones that was ever up.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been pastel too, but I knew it for sure was at least Enchi DG clown ready to breed, and it went for $2,000 in auction. Now that male was posted for $6,000, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't say.
Do
That's
you
a
think,
crazy amount.
Like, I want to know if, like, the auctions let people know what the price should be, or was it the insane Morph Madness sales that happened where, like, 10 DG clowns went up for like $2,200 with jeans in them, like, all at once, and then they were like, oh.
Well, it kind of, I don't really know. It just kind of reminded me of the banana days when everyone was buying them for, let's say, 15,000, and they were saying people selling them and people that were paying the price were like, these are super rare. Everyone's shitting on this, saying they're really common only because you don't have one. You're jealous. It reminded me of that whole process because DG clowns, all of a sudden in like 2023, there was an explosion of them available.
Mm-hmm.
And even late 2022, there was just an explosion of them available. I heard of like 50 of them at Daytona in 2022. Stuff like that. Like just plain old DG clowns, right? Just a pile of them.
Right. We made a bunch.
Without a lot of added genes.
Mm-hmm. Right. So this one will continue to fall in the next quarter because people will finally, like, put up the price it's actually worth, you know, and get the sale and lock it in at that price instead of, like, trying to put it on auction or whatever. So this is what an auction looks like when you're, like, querying. There's just no price.
Right. This is what it does now. Okay.
Right. And most of them are on auction going for around $2,000-ish.
Yes.
In general.
I know if you look at the thing, it'll say it's on hold at whatever price they put it at for the ad, and then they flip the auction switch, right?
Right, for a little bit.
Yeah, for a little bit. So you have to literally watch them at the end to see what it actually sold for. But that's why some animals I actually bid on just to get that hour notification, just so I can watch it in case I want to snag it or not. Mm-hmm. But I get to watch it, then I know when the last hour is happening.
All right. Thoughts? I don't have any specific thoughts. I have, like, some, like, weird amorphous thoughts.
And I want those thoughts. You give me the weird thoughts.
What are my thoughts? Sometimes I think snakes don't do good on Morph Market. They're almost like I don't know what the fuck's going on, but it feels like Morph Market isn't Kelley Blue Book anymore.
I agree.
I don't know what it is now. It's just like Morph Market. It used to be like, oh, bunch of shit is like about $200 on Morph Market. Okay, I'm gonna show $150. That's my show price. Now I'm like, I feel like we have sort of condensed down because, like, the 22 leftover crap has either sold or been price corrected. So we have figured that part out. But now there's, like, this new wild card of auctions and sales. And you're like, I don't know what anything's worth anymore. What are ball pythons worth?
Whatever someone's willing to pay for it. That's
So
the
then,
truth.
should people be coming to Morph Market with premium pricing because on new stuff, 2024 stuff, because we got all the heebie-jeebies out?
Well, you have to define premium pricing.
I don't know.
So, like, I'm a believer. I try to price as close as I'm willing to take, right? And maybe $100 more or maybe $200 more to negotiate if you really want, but it's still within a realm of things. I don't want to price something for $3,000. That's something that is probably only going to be worth $2,000, and hope that someone sucker buys it. Because realistically, if it's sitting up there for 6 months, Confusion Clowns were this all over the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
People had them up for $3,000 to $12,000 depending on what combination of animals. It's like there's no way Confusion, just because it's like similar to a Pompeii, but a Confusion, like it's not making as cool of an animal. I mean, it's not worth $12,000, or especially nowadays. And
right, but what if you're first to market with a bongo hypo clown or something?
Well, there's already been on there. The female went for a couple years ago, $9,500. At least it was
okay,
priced at $9,500.
But now there's no new comps for it. And
right.
You had you made a male and a female. You decided to keep the male, sell a female. You could be like hypo clowns plus one gene in a female form is, if the gene is kind of cool, is like $2,000. Would you go in at $2,000, or would you go for the premium pricing of $3,000 because no one's made the bongo one in a while? I guess this is my question.
But that's a specific scenario. In that case, I might do $3,000 only because if I'm the only one, I just want eyeballs on me and my store. I just want eyeballs on my project. The price doesn't matter at that point. The price is advertising.
Okay. Should it be $5,000 then to just be like, I don't want no advertising?
Because what I'm afraid for that reason is when I do drop the price, let's say I drop it down to $2,500 because that's what the actual price I might get is, then it looks like I've just halved my project and my project is garbage. A $3,000 to a $2,500 drop is
more normal,
is reasonable. Like I think people are protecting their own projects, right? So if you price something at $5,000 just to get the eyeballs on it, and then it gets out that you got $2,000 or $2,500 for it, it makes it look like your project isn't valuable, or that nobody wants it, right? So you have to drop it out, or you don't care about it, and you're a person that's willing to undercut your own customers eventually, right? I don't think it puts confidence into your
to start too high.
Yeah, because then your drop is too fast, right?
Mm-hmm. What's up, Kai? Carissa, Aaron. We're just talking now. We're just thinking.
And I do think the plateau. Hey, Will. I do think the plateau is does make sense though. I think it's healthy. Where you asked me for my thoughts on the stock market, I think it is plateaued, and I think it's healthy looking, right?
Yeah, in certain projects, I feel like the drops have dropped, and then people are like happy buying and selling at that new price. And I think other ones have more drop to drop because they're like, there's already listings that are up that are cheaper than the stock. But as long as we're like oscillating gently around some sort of mean.
Yeah, I think the unhealthy thing are the drastic spikes, both one way or the other, right?
Right, because then people get caught up in.
Well, if they go up too high, then people are just chasing dollars, and then you'll end up what happens, right? You'll end up with two, like DG clowns, right? You'll have too many in a couple years.
Right, and somebody's left holding the bag at the end of that drop.
Yeah, the inverse happens, and everything drops too fast. But then people like DG Clown, the reason why the price kept dropping is because nobody saw confidence in it. If you thought the price was 10,000 and people were sticker pricing for 10, but you've heard people were getting them for 6 at shows, you don't have confidence that DG Clown is something you want to invest in.
Right. I wanted to buy a DG Clown. I don't know what year it was, but I didn't have any confidence in it because like fucking every table had 10,000 DG Clowns for 7,000.
Right.
They're at that Arlington. And I was like, I could go buy like a DG Krypton for 1,500 from this table, which is like 75% of the way there with jeans in it. So I was like, oh,
right.
It's not really priced right for the rarity of the combo.
Right.
Really? Not to me. Maybe to someone else it is.
Right. That's I don't know. We're spitballing here, but I definitely think we're in a good spot. As I said before to other people a couple months ago, I think we'll see the light at the end of the, I even said on the podcast here, which was I think we'll see the light at the end of the tunnel in 2024. We'll see where the market is really heading. We'll see like how healthy it really is, right? And once again, we'll be proven right that the sky never fell. For all the people that said the sky was falling, they're fucking wrong.
Do you think so like every fall we have a influx of new babies and some percentage of the market is distressed, and so it will choose price drops to move inventory instead of whatever, that it sort of exacerbates the normal finding of the price. Do you think this 2024 baby season will be as intense as 2023, or do you think it'll be moderate price changes?
I think we'll always see a slight drop, right? But we'll see mostly plateau for some things. But like I think 2024 kind of be good.
Okay. I don't know what I think. I think we're still due for like, I don't think Powell has engineered a soft landing in the US. Jerome Powell.
Sure.
But I don't think he'll let us slide into a recession before an election.
I don't think anyone wants that. So
I think he'll get in trouble and they'll like,
career, right? It's not good for a political career.
Put his balls in clamps or something. Whatever they do to torture.
We're talking the macro economy there.
Right, but that's this economy too. Right?
No. But I mean, like that's something that's so far out of control and stuff like that, right? That they're like that obviously affects our economy, like our snake economy, but it's at large, including so much more, right? I don't think in an election year politicians want to go into a recession.
Right. So if they let us go into recession,
it's bad for business, I'm saying, right? I'm agreeing with you that it's bad for business, for their business, if they let it go down, let it recession. So
they're going to find something for a $20 bill.
Everyone's got to find something. But Will at RCR, he talked about something we've talked before, is we can't look at 1 year for the return of an animal or one clutch. A lot of people, that is a mistake that a lot of people have made in the past, which is you bought a GG Clown male for 10 grand and people expected $10,000 or more in the first clutch it ever fathers, right?
Right. I think most people are like learning that or coming to grips with that. They shouldn't like do a clutch analysis for value like soon. Like that doesn't matter. You're just getting the genes and the gender and quantity you want to use in the way that you want. Right?
You're saying, I know Will and I've talked about it. We talked about it on his Discord and stuff. And the general idea is like, I look for me, if I bought a male, I want to kind of hopefully break even, like get back his money plus holdbacks in the first season. That's like the best case scenario for me, right? That's kind of what my expectations kind of are. If I miss by a little bit, okay, we'll see how far I miss. But for the most part, that's where it is. But we know the true return of any value you get off your animals is when your babies that you produce and held back start producing because it costs you nothing to acquire them, right?
Correct.
So all the that's why it takes a good solid 5 years to really start snowballing your collection. Mm-hmm. If you're looking at dollar value return.
Right. I just think an overemphasis on short-term breeding gains is what caused the DG Clown problem, right? They're like, oh, this is easy money.
Agreed. But that was a lot of problems with COVID, right? That was a lot of like, I try to look at COVID as a blip. We all have to move past that. And now we're in 2024, right? We're like a full 2 years away from COVID now.
Right.
4 years since COVID was officially declared, like a thing, literally 4 years in March, right? Or this month.
Isn't that crazy?
But in 2020, spring of 2020 is when we all shut down for the first time.
Right. So now we're healing the reptile market. We need to have the right amount of vendors, the right amount of shows, the right amount of wholesalers, the right amount of production that actually like moves the hobby forward, gives people, I don't know, personal satisfaction, and is
Right.
an ethical amount of animals produced. Does that make sense? Like, so I think we're still like recalibrating because I think we do have in some places in the U.S. too many shows.
Well, I
Because
can't.
they were like
Control that. That's the only problem,
COVID
right?
shows.
I can't control. Like we can't control that. Like you and I can't control that. So there's
What's up,
nothing.
David?
I agree with you that sometimes there's too many shows, but we're gonna do shows. I know the guy up here, like the main show up here in Canada, he's got a contract with the facility that he uses. It's a big convention center. Obviously, he uses whatever hall of it, but his contract is set for X number of years with X number of dates per year. They're all gonna happen regardless of saturation of market. And in the last year, we implemented the plant people. Like it's a plant in Reptile Expo now because bioactive is always big. The plant people want more and more space because they keep doing really well. You really want to make your money back on a plant. Go buy. I think Will said when he's buying stuff, go buy one plant and then like offshoot it and start growing offshoots. You'll just make a ton of money over the course of a couple of years.
I know, but the plants have had their COVID spike and declined too. Like,
for the most part, plants appeal to so many more people than just snakes.
Correct. You
We
can
have all
get
the
a more
gecko people.
general audience if
We
it's
have-
like a reptile and plant show, or
Right.
like a terrarium and plant show that happens to have reptiles in it.
Right. You could
Exactly.
have people that want houseplants, and even if you strictly do reptile thing, right, you could put them in amphibian enclosures, gecko enclosures, or lizard enclosures, and snake people sometimes. But snake people usually don't put a lot of live plants.
Well,
They're too heavy bodied, right? Also, we keep them in racks. What are we going to do? But the hot take I've always believed, and Will just said it, which was the gender consensus is no one is slowing down. Is I believe no one has been slowing down and no one should slow down. I don't think you have to.
But I believe some animals are being retailed that should be wholesaled. After talking to you and talking to other people,
That's fine.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you could formerly retail stuff and make $200. That animal is now $20. It is a wholesale animal and shouldn't be clogging up shows. So, like, even if the production's the same, the things that we choose to put on Morph Market and like try to peddle to each other has to shift.
That is fair statement. I agree completely. We don't need. You and I were talking about cinnamons the other night, right? You don't need to put a cinnamon pos head DG or pos head clown, whatever I saw online on Morph Market, right? It needs to just go to a pet store. It has to go somewhere else. You really don't, unless you need that $60 really bad. But then maybe you shouldn't just be producing snakes. But
that's part of, even if the total clutches in the US is the same, the like idea of everyone retailing every dribble and drabble of every kind of snake, that part needs to be sort of, I'd rather have that person retail plants, like put plants on their table and like their nicest ball pythons, because that would be like a better show experience. You know what I mean?
it would be, but I don't know enough. I haven't vended a show, so I'm not completely sure on like what their goal is. As far as I'm aware, their goal is to get many people through the door as possible because they're making money on the door, right? They'd get two shits what the vendors sell. Also, you are
no, they definitely do now. They're real psycho. They're real psycho. Like there are many shows right now where you can't be a ball python breeder, period.
I find that so weird. I do agree with Mercury Xotics, though.
Mercury Xotics says, I think the concept of DG clowns was wrong. People brought plain DG clowns in order to produce more and chasing money, but that didn't advance anything for the breeder buyer. Correct. Like, they would pay anything for a plain DG female to breed their clown to, but they ended up just breeding a regular clown to it anyway and made double heads that were
clowns had DG. Yeah.
Right, but they should have bought a DG male and bred it to their best clown combo female, right? Like, the double heads that were made were really lame.
I think, and I know Will and I spitballed for like helping me with my collection and stuff, and it was simply similar to that. Is like, go for a longer shot, buy that DG male, produce it to some really cool clown stuff, and then you've got really cool heads. Instead of trying to nail a $10,000 snake, why don't you just make really cool heads that are double head? Either hold back some for yourself and then sell 6 other babies that collectively make $10,000.
Are people getting the money for double head DG anything?
Well, this would probably be a few years ago.
anything.
I don't know about now.
Yeah, like I mean, I was into that idea conceptually, but now it feels like
well, it depends on what you mean by money. I sold a super pastel lesser bongo double head hypoclown female for $700 US in 2023 to a lovely lady in Arizona. She's very nice. And she gave me updated pictures. I asked her for it, and she loves this thing. She says it's one of the best in her collection. So, but that's, I felt it was $700 because of the super pastel, to be honest, and lesser. Like, they were not wanted, right? The bongo is the only thing you really want, that combo.
Mm-hmm.
But she, I put it up for the price that she paid. And she loves it, to be fair. I don't think I suckered her into anything. The value comes from just a collection of cool jeans altogether. And the fact that I don't think other one like that's been made, but yeah.
I think there's just a set of people, they're just undervaluing heads in any form.
I agree.
And so then like that pushes the market down. I mean, you've seen auctions for double heads. They're like
more double heads need to be wholesaled. To be fair, if you want to protect the head market, more of them have to be wholesaled or sold without heads.
Right, or like male head puzzles, male head sunsets, male head like of the rare recessives, monsoon. It would be better probably if a lot more of them were wholesaled also.
Yeah, I know some that are. I just don't know enough.
Like Hall says, I know my crochet toys have done better with combined reptile plant expos. Doesn't know if it's positive, but
yeah, sure. Her tables are always very busy at shows. She's up
like the way some of the shows that I've been going to have been going, they don't yet say no ball pythons, but it's starting to get more of like a reptile terrarium vibe, lifestyle vibe.
So are you trying to say like we're back to like it's the cycle, right? So we're going back to the hobby level, hobby mentality of things, where more people are just interested in the keeping of snakes and less about the money.
Right, because when you go to sell snakes, nobody's buying living things. They're buying some cork bark. They're buying a plant. They're buying some stickers. They're buying a 3D printed thing for their kid, and they're picking up feeders and toys. But they've already bought their 2 or 3 pets. They want to come and hang out and pick up feeders. And you could incentivize them to buy toys or new decor items or a cage upgrade. Right. But most of them aren't interested in a specific whole new pet anymore. So like just like the raw churn of making 1,000 extra ball pythons a year is not necessary in that market. Like curated, select ball pythons, sure. But in these like very in markets with a lot of shows, a lot of the people who are coming to the venue have already bought all the pets they want. They just want lifestyle stuff.
And they're there to check it out, maybe, but they're there to check something out. Although I do see up here, a lot of people, like when I go to them in the afternoon, a lot of people will leave in the show with little deli cups. A lot of spiders, a lot of inverts.
Right, because that's an easy ad. Animals. Like they bought a ball python, then they bought a...
tarantulas are very easy ads.
Right, you're just like, oh, I'm going to put a little acrylic thing on my desk.
Yeah.
You can convince someone to do that. But, so I did a show in Odessa. I sold 17 ball pythons.
Well, there you go.
But that's what I'm saying.
You weren't even excited for that show. No. Look at you go.
Because I've done like 9 shows closer, and I would sell like 3 or 4 a show. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? But that was like a fresh market. It's had shows 2 other times. This was the 3rd time it ever had a show. They're like, pinstripe? What's that? And I'm like, I love you. Let's talk about it. I will. You think this is cool because you've never seen it before in your whole life. And so like, there's obviously still raw people.
And if you have the right pet price, they're going to be really. It's not like you're trying to screw them and be like, "Oh, you've never seen this before, so it's $300." It's
no, I was like $20 to $80. Here's the $20 to $80 section. Yeah. Y'all want a pet?
You want a pet pinstripe? $60.
Yeah. Yes. That's what I did.
I think that's good.
For that market, it was okay. And I was like, thank God. All right. So those markets still exist. I just think it becomes debilitating to do a market where it's the lifestyle market now. And you're trying to sling.
It's an interesting one. That's why the plant people do so well, right?
Right, because they get lifestyle mini plants. And if the plants die, it doesn't matter.
Yes, well, they come back to the next show and buy another one.
Right. There's no like ethical considerations. Let's see what Hunter says. Promoters do too many shows a year because most venues won't allow a smaller event to occur within 45 months. Event. Oh, similar. I can't read. So it blocks out other people from starting a show there. I know, but then
you don't have to pick that place as a venue. You can always go somewhere else. And you should be. My belief is like, because you have these people been doing shows for like 20 years and they've grown their show. Like Tinley wasn't always as big as it was. Same as our Canadian show, right? Or one of them. When I started going to those shows, I don't know if anyone in Canada in the chat remembers them. We used to be in a Legion, just upstairs, like upstairs in a freaking Legion. That's where my first shows were.
In some ways,
I was 17, so I couldn't go drinking in the bar in the basement after. But I know tons of people that did, and I know lots of stories that we do not need to repeat today. But yeah, they were done in Legion, so you have to like grow your little niche business, right? But the problem is, as consumers of shows, we're used to the big show. So if someone has a small show, we're kind of unfairly judging that person.
I'm unfairly judging shows where I break even, though.
Why is that so bad? You got your name out there. You got rid of ball pythons.
Fuck you. I'm so good at breaking even. Because I've broken even on shows for like 18 months. I'm so good.
Is that not so good? Healthy? Is that not good?
I want to make money at shows.
Yeah, but so you break even. So you cost you $2,000 to go to a show, and you make $2,000 at a show.
Whose show costs $2,000?
Well, I'm just saying all your expenses, right?
It's more like $500.
It's honestly a random number.
Okay.
But isn't that good? Because then you got free networking. Because if you go to any other industry and paid for a conference, for a one-day conference to network and go to like panels or whatever else, it's like $800 to attend, right?
Yeah, but I feel like those conferences are a scam.
Sure, but we get them for dirt cheap, right? Here, like in our industry, right? Go to Toastmasters, anything. There's full-on networking groups. I had to be part of them back in the day, and it costs tons of money to get into them, right?
Okay, I used to be able to do shows, make a little bit of money, and have after show sales,
right?
Because of them.
But hey,
last 18 months, no.
But maybe Odessa's the turning point for you, right?
I just think Odessa's like a fresh, pure, gentle
queen of
market.
Odessa over here.
No.
Yeah, just gotta get hooked on corn snakes now. The queen of Odessa.
Ball pythons outsold corn snakes at that show.
17? That's a healthy number.
Oh my god! I was like, let's keep it rolling, keep it going. I don't give a fuck. Let's make a deal. Will feels attacked about
the Cine pasta pie. He loves pie, so that I guarantee you that thing would prove out.
What's up, Dickie? Beast Harbor sold 2 double DG Sunset males for 200 to 300. People will buy some of them.
See, I think that price is like, it's kind of like the het price is so odd, right? I think the pieces to projects need to be either elevated or the project price has to come down, right? But at the same time, like double het DG Sunset, my issue with that price point is like, I think the price point's fine for $300 because who's starting the project now? Like who has double het DG Sunset females? Or Sunset Het DG or DG Het Sunset.
Right, it's still going to take somebody.
That person who would really be looking for that animal
to breed them back.
Right, they probably already have the animals, right? So that's why the price point on some het stuff I kind of understand, because if someone like, who's your actual market that you're selling that to? It's generally someone who might want to get in on the cheap level. They have to sell it with the female, right? I wouldn't buy a double het DG Sunset, even if I had Sunset or DG females, right? Because it take me, even with genetic testing, still got to raise those females up that prove 100%.
You should do shows because then you'll realize that doing shows just to get your name out there isn't worth it.
Yeah, but I can just sell online and go on podcasts like this and get my name out there. So
Okay, good.
we're winning. Hanging with Will.
Brother, it's like brutal. So like if you're like, I'm gonna fly to Pomona, I'm gonna fly to CRVE, I'm gonna fly to the Tinley, I'm gonna fly to Daytona, and I'm just gonna spend money networking. That's a better use of your time and money
I
than
do
going
think
to Podunk show number 47 of
we
the
don't
year.
have like podunk shows that we can travel to, right?
Okay,
we have one
so
that's
like
an hour away
that's
from
the
me.
difference, I think.
We have one that's an hour away from me, and then they're all 20 minutes. All the Toronto shows are 20 minutes away from my house. There's one on the 14th of April.
Mhm.
I gotta go buy some tarantulas. So
you collect tarantulas now?
no, I'm buying them as a birthday present for a friend.
Okay.
So I don't want tarantulas. I've gone through the tarantula phase. I don't need tarantulas.
Well, next week I got Nick Sloan on because he's starting the All-American Plant and Reptile Expo or whatever, Reptile and Plant Expo in Colorado, specifically to have it. I mean, I'll talk to him about how he thought, but he's like, I'm going to put the word plant in there on purpose. You know?
Right. Just to talk to Beast Morse for a second, his point about the guys are likely putting double het DG sunsets to DG or het DG females for the long road. Is that not part of the problem that we had with DG clowns? Just trying to make the DG sunset or just trying to make DG clowns? If you're just putting it to het DG, like if they're not if they're comboed, that would make more sense. But if they're just putting them to DG females to get DGs.
I would hope people have
sunset.
combo het DG females by now.
No, I'm not buying a toy candy.
Right?
I would hope so too, but
I mean, not a lot, but if they bought
Not
a
a lot of people.
DG male in 2021 when they thought it was a good idea, they could have made different double hets with that.
yeah.
Or just het. Yes, buy toys too.
No.
So, like, my show strategy is to do shows that aren't in a city that I can't get traction in.
Yeah.
And then, like, I don't know what this Dallas is going to be like because they banned a bunch of crap for sale. I think you could show it and you just can't sell it. That's going to be like the real test of like, is spring sprung? Right? Are we stabilizing? Like, will enough people show up to Dallas that all of the big dogs that come to Dallas and don't go to Tinley feel okay? I know Tinley is pretty good.
I think Dallas will do just fine.
We'll see. I'll make it fine. I'll just sex it up or something. I don't fucking know. Oh, man. All right. Any other ball python thoughts? And then we'll go into Hognose.
We'll go into Hognose. I'm excited for this part. Ball pythons are the best. And they should not be refused at shows. That's my take. They drive everything.
You know, Reptile Nation refuses crested gecko people now too.
Good, because crested geckos are stupid.
What? I like crested geckos. It's just funny. It's like,
Bye, Katie.
it's part of why I wanted to get Nick on. I'm like, how the fuck do you make a show? Or what is your like standard for how a show should be made? Because like people get so mad if there's too many ball pythons, there's too many crested geckos, or something. There's just too many axolotls. Some people got mad at axolotls for like a minute.
They were super popular for a hot minute, man.
Yeah, it's Minecraft, man.
Yeah, is that what it was? Is that where it came from?
Mm-hmm. All the kids were like, axolotl. They had no idea how to spell it or what it was until
my kids loved looking at them too. My son wants one. I said no. I hate them. I didn't like them. I don't hate crested geckos. I kept them. My daughter had some. We bred them. They were fun. They should be allowed at shows too. You shouldn't ban them from the show.
I just think there should be more. I don't know, like in the States anyway. Like a big regional show that's like big and important for every region. And there could be littler shows more often, but there should be like an NARBC style show in each region every quarter or half a year or something.
Yeah.
And so that's my dream right now. Is that like Dallas can be like my big spring show and then like something else. And then like it's just you're meeting new people, totally fresh people, not the same people who don't want your dumb corn snakes, new people. These are my dreams.
Yeah. It's gonna happen for you.
Because there are new people who've never seen a pinstripe. I've met them, and they're ecstatic about pinstripe, and I love their faces, and I want to meet them. Right?
One day I'll do a show, but if I get mites, I'm blaming you. Actually, I have a friend who told me they can get me like commercial farm grade Roundup to dilute. And I'm like, I don't know if I need that stuff. Like the real Roundup. Apparently, I was like the poison.
All right, everybody's leaving. We're going to talk about Hognose.
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah, don't put Roundup on your snakes.
No, never. I'm just like, I need frontline, just preventatively. I don't have mites, but just preventatively. I've never had mites. I had mites once in 20 years in my house, and I got it from a pet store.
Oh, God. Ideally, no one should ever get mites, ever. Like, that would be perfect, but you can't have everything be perfect.
Well, we have shoddy people. To be fair, forever. Yes, they do need to bring that back, Jessica. 100% believe in you.
Mm-hmm. The most current recipe I have is 250 mils of alcohol and 8 milliliters of Taurus SC. Because I know Bob does 1 cup to a 2-gallon jug. And I'm like, that sounds not particularly precise.
Yeah.
But if you want it, Taurus SC, you should be able to buy it. It's pure fipronil action. All right. Hog time.
Hog time. Let's do it. I don't know anything about hogs.
So like, unlike ball pythons, they did do like a little COVID bumpy thing, but they sort of stayed up. How does that make you feel?
I think it's steady. I like it.
Yeah, there's like a little bit, but these are, look at the dollar amounts, like 300, 200. So they're just bobbing around.
But like, all I've heard from hognose breeders is they just sell at shows. Like, normal doesn't matter. Like, you put them out there, $260 for a male, and they're just gonna fly off your table. Is that true?
Yeah, because people, like, the social media hype train around hognose is very strong.
Right.
Like TikTok people, like Marshmallow.
I have no idea who Marshmallow is, but sure.
He's like a famous snow hognose with like millions of followers on TikTok.
Jube.
Right. It's like Jube is for ball pythons. Marshmallow is for hognose.
They're ball pythons and hognose are very photogenic, so I get it.
Right. So right now, because just hognose are in general slightly rarer, any hognose not tied down in a show, it's like within a pet person's price point. They're like, I never had one. I would like to have one because I saw it on TikTok.
Yeah.
It's sort of that thing.
They got the cute upturned nose. Yeah, I see. I love albinos, so this makes sense. It always makes me happy. Like,
right. It did go down a little bit last quarter, but then it just like went back up again. So I'm assuming it's just basically flat.
It's flat. It's plateau.
Males right. And then Xanthic, very weird. There's no percents because almost none sold this quarter. A female sold for the same price as last, so it's like no change. I just think Xanthics are less cute, and so just they're less desirable online.
They don't pass the grandma eyes the same way.
Right. Albino, though, and Snow is down a bunch, but I think it just doesn't matter. Again, because like I think people were feeling a little full and like overdid it.
8 to 6 isn't crazy. Again, you said Marshmallow is a Snow.
Right. And look how flat this fucker is. So like if it goes down a little bit, I bet it'll go back up. I'm be honest.
Yeah, it's just pretty much like those little ups and downs we're gonna see quarter to quarter. I think I agree with you.
Right, 16. It seems like a lot, but it's more like the trend over time. So I think we're going to oscillate around $500, which is like
that's pretty steady.
A pet price point anyway.
That's top end pet price, but yeah.
Right, but I think they'll do that for a Marshmallow clone. That's my current theory. Is like some of these other ones are on a clear downward trajectory, like Hognose morph, but I think a pet person will always glaze up, like albinos and snows. Like Lavender's like flat, perfect. It's actually gone up a little bit, but Lavender is purple. Pet people love it. 10 out of 10.
Right.
I don't know. This is good. Very healthy, normal. The females came down a little bit on Arctics and the males went up a little bit. I just feel like it doesn't matter. It's like 313 to 273, 216 to 243. I think this is your like oscillating on just a one copy of Arctic.
2 to 250. That sounds reasonable to me. There's always a little tip here and there.
Mm-hmm. And then this is where I think things are changing because Super Arctic males are down a little bit, but you can see like it's not as stable. It's more of like an investment price at this point.
How many do they have in a clutch?
A lot. And a shit ton.
So it's not like corn snakes where there's like what, 12, 15?
It can be. They can triple clutch.
Well, I meant one clutch. So it's like
one
10,
clutch could be
10, 12?
Like 5 to 20. But
5 to
10,
20.
12 would be
What's
more
average? So 10, 12 is average. And I know
right.
they double clutch quite easily, right? And then they sometimes triple.
Yes.
So you're talking like averaging like 20 to 30 a year per female.
If they don't do all the dumb shit that they do, slug out, eat their eggs, they're very eat their boyfriend. If they don't do any of those things, and the babies start well and don't nerf themselves, which they do a lot, they have the capacity to nerf their own pricing. But I think they have such insane like pet support.
Right, because that's what I'm getting at, tracking to. I'm like, man, these prices are really strong, steady for an animal that has like, you need 5 or 6 ball pythons to match their production of one female, right?
Right, because I think people will go buy a Super Arctic male as a pet and be like, oh, whatever.
Even then, you need like 10 ball python females because you only get an average rate of 5 or 6 going for you per year. And yeah, Marshmallow's doing the Lord's work for all the Hognose people. And to be fair, people like Marshmallow are doing the Lord's work for the whole industry. More pet people
That's
that
why
come in.
Everybody needs to sponsor Kayla.
Yeah, see, I'm a big proponent of like the more people in, like all the YouTubers, all the pet tubers, right? People don't like him, even though he's passed away, like Brian Barchak. All the stuff that they do on their channel, bringing people in, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if people say they don't like certain things of them. The habits are very not like they're inconsequential for the most part.
All right, so this isn't with conda, it's just pure snow. So like my only concern with hoggies has always been like the high-end hognose market being like artificially inflated by ball python people fleeing ball pythons to hognose for diversity or something.
I've seen a lot of people do that, and then they just come back. They're like, I'm just a ball person,
right?
And they get rid of them all. I'm like, every time someone's like, I'm going to diversify, I get like 8 hognose. I'm like,
it's always the same thing too.
Good luck. I'm like, I know the truth. Good luck. They're gonna, and then they're like, I hate these things. They bite. They must.
They're so
shit all
hungry.
the time.
That's the scary part.
The what?
Oh, they're like hungry.
Yeah, that's
they're
what
always
it is.
Trying to chew on your human meat. Yeah, like, stop it.
I'm just like, this is why I refuse for a decade. I'm like, I refuse.
Right, but that's why like maybe hogs are okay because people will get lured in by like the thought of easy. Let me Eric with that one. Easy money, and they get defeated and they run away. And so like maybe that's why prices are stable. Also,
then if people also look at the saturation of ball pythons, the way they talk about them, that would also equal bad things for hognose because then there's that many people reselling them or like mistreating them or whatever, right?
Right. That's why hognose are like a crypto haven. Not crypto, the currency.
Junior talks like I always like listening to Junior on your podcast. He talks about like how he treats like his show snakes. He's like, I use one hand to open the bin and then use one hand to touch the snake, and he's very careful, right?
You gotta be. Even though it's like probably fine, I don't know. It's not worth the suffering. And Sable's one that's down enough that I think it's because these are like investment prices, and it's kind of weird. Like
I think $1,500 is an investment price, yeah.
But once both of them come down to around $500, I just feel like they're pretty cool. They'll probably just chill there for a while. I am just worried. You saw Brian Parter said he's going to start limiting hognose breeders hypothetically at Tinley in a couple of years because he's like too many people are applying as hognose breeders. I was like, fuck, dude. We're so bad at everything. But
I I never really had to scent feed my babies. What temperature do people keep their hognose babies at?
Like hotspot 85-ish, cool side room temperature.
I remember I got yelled at by Brian Barczyk once. He told me they weren't ball pythons because I said I want to keep them closer to 90.
They just don't want to be that hot. They'll run away from it. Sometimes, and even with 85, they'll run away from that. So sometimes in the summer, if like my room gets hot, I'll just pull the plug on the whole rack for colubrids, and they'll be just like 82 ambient.
See, Jessica, if you're closer to 90, I have a question. Do you get really good eating habits out of them? Because from my experience, they eat very well at higher temperatures. Babies do.
Okay. I believe you.
But you still, every now and then, you still have to scent them. But ball pythons, you have to scent anything, which makes me happy.
Hunter says there was more hognose breeders than ball python breeders at the last Montana show. James, you went and didn't do well from what I heard.
Because he had competition for once?
Right. That's sort of, I mean, I like Junior. I'm not trying to throw shade. Just sometimes he'll like spirit in as the only hognose vendor for the whole show and do great and then spirit away again, you know? And so like, that was his business model. But if there are a lot of hognoses out there, you know, flying into every show with just like a basket of hogs and able to turn over, I'm assuming tens of thousands of dollars of hogs to make it worth it.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know if that's going to happen at every show anymore. What do you think?
Ball python, hognose, I've always thought were going to be the next ball python. And they pretty much are. Like, they're second. They're not going to eclipse the ball python because they're just, I think you said, I learned on your one of your other shows that they're legal in some states to keep.
Yeah, totally legal.
You just totally eliminate that market, right? That region. Mm-hmm. So, and I personally believe the slight rear fang venom will push any parents who hear about it, it would push them into a different species for getting their 8-year-old kid a snake, right?
Yeah, for me, I like hognoses. Please don't yell at me. They're like the fact that they're rear frame venomous and they're like insatiable demons. Some of them. Yeah. And that part is. I would not sell that kind of baby to a kid. You have to be like the demon sections over here, and this is like the hogs with the normal feeding response where you can just like set it down and eat it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
My God, I've seen them like. I had one come out, side hook me with a fang, and then dangle from the single fang from my finger, and I'm like, I was trying to change your water. What is wrong with this animal?
I'm all for. I will be positive. All for the people that love their stuff, love their hognoses. So happy for you. I just don't have to deal with them, so I'm happy with my milk snakes.
I think they're very funny.
They are very
hognoses are like way cuter than like tricolors, which I think are technically better looking, but their just faces are cuter.
Yes. Yeah.
If you know what I mean. I just like. They're just like they're either flinging themselves out trying to eat me and die, or they're screaming at me because they're mad that I'm just near them. There's a lot of like emotional labor that I have to do around hognoses that I don't have to do around any other species.
It's a labor of love, right?
I guess for now it is.
I gave up all that.
You know what corn snakes do? They don't do shit.
You know what? That's why I love corn snakes. I still think, and I know we're talking about hognoses, but I think a juvenile corn snake is the best starter snake out there. And I'm even a ball python breeder. Juvenile corn snake, best out there.
Yeah,
yeets itself. That's funny.
Yeah, literally, that's what they do. They're like, "Oh, you're feeding me." Bye.
I've seen the videos just biting onto the bins, chasing things. I'm like, I'm out.
It does make them like quirky and fun.
It does.
I'm just like, in terms of like management choices, like, do you want hundreds of those?
Right, or one.
Yeah. I'm gonna breed hundreds of things that want to yeet themselves out and eat anything moving, including their partner. I don't know. This
Well,
is just a me problem. I've complained about Hognose enough.
If you want to upgrade it, just go after indigos and caribos that just come out of their 10x the size of a Hognose and just come flying
I just
out
like
into
them
it.
though, 'cause they're cool.
Who, Hognose is?
No, Caribos and Indios.
They are cool. Not my thing. They're too big for me, but they are cool. Although I want Mullendorf eye, so.
That would be cool. Oh my god, you see the aberrant ones on Fauna?
The which ones?
The het aberrant pair that was on Fauna.
No, how much was it?
1,500. I would have bought them if I had money.
That's not bad.
I know. They're so cool.
They are so cool. I was a kid and I really fell in love with them, and I never saw them, and they've been coming up. But I would get the hypo ones, I think. But I mean,
yeah, I'd get all three. Fuck it, wild type.
all three. Yeah, get double
a pair of. I will morph stack them.
Double het, a pair of double hets, right? So you have the normals growing up, and then you're gonna hatch a variety of everything.
God, I don't even know if anybody's making double heads.
Serpent Mitra, Matt.
Is he making double heads?
I don't know if he's making double heads. I know he's been working with.
That's why you need a pair of like het for every morph.
He's selling his collection.
Start your quadruple recessive Mullendorf
He's publicly stated he's drastically selling his collection down.
I know. He's tired of our shit.
He's tired of our shit.
Like the hobbies shit.
Right.
All right. I think we're in the springtime of youth, and that's why I put Guy Sensei on the thumbnail, because he's a beautiful beast. He's about believing in yourself, and we're gonna sort of bob around certain pricing for a while, and that's okay.
I agree with you.
And it's okay. It's just like if you feel full or whatever, try to wholesale, try to find a pet store. Keep working on that, because we just got to keep going, right? You don't get to give up.
Don't give up. Never
believe
give
in
up.
yourself.
Never surrender. Never give up. Never.
Did you watch Naruto? Is my Guy Sensei?
What? Naruto?
Yeah.
No. Watch that trash.
All right, your homework is to watch all 500.
All 1,000 episodes? No. I'm waiting
all
for Twisters.
All 500.
But Bravo Zulu ball pythons, I don't know his name, but he said AHS, African house snakes, are the perfect pet. I agree. They are. Other than their lack of a lot of color changes, they are exceptional pets.
My problem is that they would die in situations you can put a corn snake into. Like if you shipped a corn snake and it got stuck in FedEx and its heat pack failed, corn snake does not die.
Well, they're African house snakes, right? So they need temperatures like a ball python. You can shove them on a ball python rack.
That's why they're not as cool as corn snakes. They are very cool.
Right, but they're mini tiny constrictors and they eat everything and they breed like rabbits. They are incredible. But overall, they're still great.
I like their heads a lot. Eyeballs.
Yeah.
Eyeball head ratio. Yeah, very cool. I just so you have to watch Naruto now. That's a burden.
No.
Come on.
Gonna ask chat to tell me if I should watch or not, but they'll be stupid and tell me to do it.
All right, everybody tell spam Aaron to watch Naruto so he can learn about Guy Sensei.
House, the show House again, so I'm doing that.
I started watching.
I've watched many times, but
The 3-Body Problem on Netflix. Have you watched that?
No.
It's not as cool as I wanted it to be. I'm depressed. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, Micah is a prerequisite to be on the show.
That's fine.
Did you watch the second season of Jujutsu Kaisen?
No.
Okay, let's spoiler free that one. So. It was amazing, by the way. Everybody should watch it. I've never been like I'm pretty sure there's a sweatshop somewhere that they've tied these animators to, and they're like, if you don't do the best job of your entire life, you're gonna cut off a toe.
Oh, probably.
You know what I mean? Because that's how good it was, and I was like, I'm so scared right now.
Yeah.
For them.
Yeah. No, I'm not watching One Piece, and it's like 1,500 episodes. Get out of here, Adrian.
I like the live action.
Ugh.
Does that make me a bad person?
Anyway,
We're
I
just
think
chatting now.
I think everyone should be positive about the snake market in general. Hognose, ball python, doesn't matter. Everyone should be positive. You also just breed confidence in your own market. If you want to sell snakes of any kind, don't shit on your own market by saying this market sucks, because all you're doing is telling your buyers not to buy snakes.
But I think you should say this show sucks, so that vendors don't go there and waste their time. What do you think about that?
You think so?
Yeah, because it's called self-preservation. If a whole show is like a black hole of interest,
We have one show.
okay, well, Canadian does it correctly, because then you're all interested in the same event.
Yeah, which you hear vendors be like, I hate this place and stuff like that. But I hear stories through the background that, like, as much as some ball python people want to say it's garbage, but like they're some people are like, what's the word, boycotting essentially for prices or whatever, that they feel they're boycotting it, right? And
They're boycotting that one show.
Yeah, because they feel for whatever reason they want to. But I've also heard other stories that, like, because of plant people want more space, so like the showrunner doesn't care if ball pythons go or not, right? But there's always going to be a ball python breeder who wants to go to a show for the first time, right? There's always going to be spots.
What if there is a Canadian ball python breeders conference?
I was always interested in that.
Okay. I think there should be. I think there should be something like that everywhere. Like
I would attend like a herp, like an actual herp society show type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would attend one of those, like Carpet Fest, I think it is, or Retic Fest. I'd probably go to something like that. Just check it out. It's not my main thing, but like I'm surprised we haven't done one for ball pythons. But because every show is a ball python show, it feels like we all network anyway.
Yeah, I feel like, so like there are different kinds of shows. There are shows where it's networking, and there are shows where it's networking plus you need to make some money, and then there's your bread and butter shows that are how you're supporting your business, hypothetically. So like, you know, the bread and butter shows have to have plants and shit because you need 10,000 people through the door, and so like that's just the way that goes. So that's how CRB is.
What kind of ball python show set, like ball python only show, would you want to see? Like, do you want panels? You want what do they call it? Like things, artist alley kind of thing, like vendor alley?
God, that'd be so fun.
Like, what would we do? Because we talk about it online. We have so many podcasts of ball pythons that we get all the guests on there. Justin was just on one the other night talking about, everyone controversially about his pictures, right? His video editing. That was apparently a thing talked about. But
yeah, it's been oversaturated looking.
Who cares?
Lately.
Go everywhere. It doesn't matter.
Right. I didn't watch. Right. I guess. So if it was like a herp society meeting, but just for ball pythons, and you had panels and breakout sessions, artist alley, and a small curated vending, but it really wasn't vending. It was like show off. Like you got one booth with a 6-foot table.
Just to show your product, like just to show your projects. Yeah. I think that would be fair, because then anyone can do it, whereas everyone would just want to go to buy from Will at RCR or Billy or something, right?
Right, and they could use that 6-foot table not to bring any animals. They could just bring like themselves. A PowerPoint of breeding projects. And like,
it could work, because you could talk about biosecurity, what to do in your own home or something like that. Talk about new quarantine protocols that we can put into place, because not everyone does them. Talk about
we could talk about ball pythons about
genetic testing.
4 days straight. And just
that's all we do.
Right, that's all we. There's hundreds of podcast hours produced every week just about ball pythons, right?
Hey man, I told you we make the world go round over here.
Mm-hmm.
Bo's tried to keep up, but they just couldn't.
Right. I mean, they don't breed fast enough. Right. I don't want a dog show for ball pythons like best in class. Although that would be cool. Like if you wanted to bring your one best clown and they could compete a little bit
If you wanted to talk
for
about the
aesthetics.
lineage, like the kennel club type of thing, that would have to happen, I think. You would have to have people show up to show off lines of stuff. I think you would literally have to make an event for it to start. If you want proper lineage track in a book, I think you'd have to have those events like dogs.
You think?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think you could have lineage with events, but you could have lineage before events. But I'm just saying, like, could you have a breeders conference that is specifically about, you know, how they like sometimes they'll like get together and go on vacation together, like
Yeah.
Not that. Like an official, maybe even the door fee is like $400, like those like
those
real conferences that we're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Real conferences.
You can do it at a hotel. And use a small conference room. Hopefully
in a nice city that's interesting to be at.
Well, it's Toronto. We're all just going to be central to the middle of the central part of Canada. It's the capital of Canada, everyone, in case you Americans didn't know.
For now.
Truthfully, it's not. It's Ottawa.
When do you think the French are going to take over?
Do you think the French are going to take over? No, they're going to leave. They're going to go try to join the U.S. And I'm sure Canada will.
I don't think. Sorry, Frenchies.
Yeah. See, nobody.
We like Celine Dion, but that's it.
Nobody wants them.
You think they would become independent? Didn't they do a referendum?
They tried. They keep trying. There's a separatist group over there, but they don't do very well.
Do you think World War III will start in Quebec?
It could, but
I'm kidding. We love French people, and we love French
not
Canadians.
That French people. We love like Parisian French, not fake French.
Oh, is that like a thing? A stigma against fake
French? I make it up because I think it's funny. Okay. Actually, I do think people from France do not like Quebecois. Do not like because they butcherize them. Like there's two separate dialects, right?
Yeah.
They can understand each other, but it's not.
At a reptile show in Ontario, do you put some information in French, or is it far enough away from Quebec that you don't like on your care sheets or whatever?
I don't know. I never pick up a care sheet, so I don't know. But I don't think most people do. There are vendors who come from Quebec, but for the most part, they don't. Letterkenny's pretty good, legit. That's Northern Ontario, so just answering Jessica, popping in and out.
What's Letterkenny?
It's a TV show. If you want to watch Naruto, you should watch some Letterkenny.
It's like a Canadian.
It's Northern Canadian. Drunk. It's Northern Canadian. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, that's fine.
Hockey like jokes, bad jokes.
Canadians are to me basically just like Northern Midwesterners. So it's like the same vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know what like coastal Canadians were like, but every Canadian I ever met in like Maine felt like a Midwesterner in a different body or whatever.
We're so far off topic of both.
Sorry, we're just like riffing a little bit at the end.
Yeah, that's fine. No, I definitely think your Hognose prices are more stable than ours, and they're higher per thing, and you guys don't have a shortage of morphs anymore, so.
I think it's fine. It's just like things will be different probably in the future, right? If we have too many people breeding Hognose and they go to every show and there's hundreds of Hognose at every show. Like I don't know if it's a secret or not, but I was talking to, oh my God, I talked to too many people. I forget, but somebody was like, I have 300 Hognoses. I don't know what to do with them. Can I take them to Dallas? And I don't remember who I was talking to about this.
Yeah.
And they were talking about somebody else. This is like a 3-person story. So it's very easy to become overwhelmed with Hognoses if you're not doing a lot of shows and putting them in front of pet people.
Yes, you do have to get that lower. Like if you're talking, what was it? Your snows were like what, $800 in your stock report?
Probably
something like that. 600 was it?
Let's check. Oh, we're in ball python.
Oh, you're way far away.
Snows were 608 for a female.
Yeah, so 6 and 6. Yeah, you definitely need to get them in front of like that top end value of that market, especially where whoever's going to be watching Marshmallow, right? Those are the market you're really tackling.
Right.
If you see Marshmallow, buy Marshmallow's like long lost cousin right here. Just put a sign up there: Marshmallow replicas.
Juniors.
Yeah, replicas, authentic.
Somebody said glaze up Marshmallow's owner. Like
Yeah.
I'm really interested in people like figuring out how to like capitalize on, and not just making a dumb reel of your snake for yourself, but like actually glaze up viral owners of accounts who have put in the work, have art or whatever. It could be a show promoter, it could be an individual breeder, it could be whatever. Just be like, Marshmallow owner, whatever, please come to my table at this show. Marshmallow doesn't need to be there, but you can sell your plushies and your Artist Alley shit. I'll pay for your table, I'll pay for your flight, but I will sell my Hognoses right beside you. Like
this premium spot. You just hope a vendor doesn't do, because a vendor would be like, you want to be next to Jube the snake? Here you go, $3,000 for the table.
I maybe it's good. I don't know. Does Kayla ever go to CRBE just to, like hang out?
She does. I see her at shows. Yeah, I see her at shows.
Someone should glaze up Kayla.
Yeah, you know? I don't know if she cares about us, right?
No, not really.
That's the thing about them, is they are so off in their own world and successful, they don't give two shits about us.
Right, but we could give a shit about them.
I do. I think she's cool. I think she's bringing in tons of people, right? Thank you, Kayla, for bringing in all the customers.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Doing the Lord's work, as someone said earlier. Jube and Marshmallow doing the Lord's work. Mm-hmm. Same as Snake Discovery, them and anyone else like them doing the Lord's work. People work that I don't want to do. Well,
do you think you know how in anime cons they'll do stamp rallies and stuff?
I don't know what stamp rallies now.
What?
I don't know what a stamp rally is.
You don't know what it is? Okay, so like if you go to a different artist table and you perform a task, like you do a dance or something.
Hunt something.
Yeah, and you go around the show, you get a stamp. And so Snake Discovery did it at not this last Tinley, but I think the Tinley before that. I don't think they redid it. They called it a treasure hunt, and it was kind of for kids. But what if it was more often and more interactive? Does that make any sense?
Why not? We should change up the shows, bring something else instead of just the flea market vibe, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
That's cool.
What else can we do to make shows more about community, more about hanging out, or you know what I mean, or just about anything? Well, lifestyle. If that's what we need.
Well, more about the community in a way that you can actually meet more people, because the people you generally, like, if you're brand new, you're walking into a show, and the only people that are willing to talk to you really are the vendor that you're staring at, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you, like, that treasure hunt idea is really cool, because you're going to end up at different places than just different vendors that are not just species specific, right? If you're a crescent gecko person, you're generally not looking at ball pythons, right?
Right. What's cool about it is you can do it. It could be like you buy something, but like you don't have to. It could be just like go there and say hi. And
right. That's what I'm saying. Like
you get a stamp.
Just to be interactive. Yeah.
And
just to be interactive.
You complete your stamp rally, you get a sticker or fucking.
Yeah, a sticker specifically just for the stamp rally.
Right. You're cool.
Yeah, so you're the only one with one. I think that stuff's kind of cool. We already do the panels. We already do the guest speakers. We already do the YouTubers, the influencers. I don't think they draw as many people as you think. I don't know.
What about Catalina wine mixers?
The fucking Catalina wine mixer.
What about more like?
I love it.
Structured adult networking time on purpose in like the venue hotel, not like where they just stumble into the bar and you're not sure who's there, but like it's like a paid structure.
That's what my next thing would be, is like, how do you put a section somewhere where people can just go to talk and mingle? But I don't.
Catalina wine mixer.
You got to drive. Yeah, but alcohol always drives everything. But I don't drink. I'm like Shane. I don't drink.
No, you don't have to drink at all. But I think there's an idea that like this is where adults are talking. What about that idea?
Sure. I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm. Because like I hear the Tinley bar, you can barely. It is adults talking, but can't even hear what's going on. That's
I
how,
know
like,
there's private dinners many times, like vendor dinners always happen very often. So something where you could have, instead of the clicky people going just having dinner, open up to more people. Like you
Catalina
said, like
wine mixer.
Catalina wine mixer.
A buffet.
I think that would be a little better. And
Open
you
bar.
force the vendors to go sit at a table with random people. Can you just see like Billy talking to some random people?
Well, he'd probably be having fun, but some of those Patreon dinners, it's like 20 people deep table or whatever, and that's totally fine. But I don't know if they're all having conversations. Well, that's why it has to be a mixer. Right?
Conversations, right? They're having like conversation with the 3 people like in their vicinity. Right. I've been to the show dinners with like Will and a bunch of others, and the same thing. You sit with 3 people and you just have a conversation generally with them, right? You don't can't shout over the other people.
I've done vendor dinners after reptile shows at smaller shows, and they're fine, but it's the same problem. You're shouting at this person or the person next to you, and you're like, "How many ball pythons did you sell?" and I don't know. There's just like, and then everybody runs away because they just had dinner and they're tired of living, right? But there's got to be a way, maybe even like Thursday nights. What if people fly in early to a show?
Right.
Or come in early?
I mean, if we're doing the 2-day show, what would probably be really good, because we only do the 2-day show a couple times a year, and one of them is like once, right? The CRB. If you want to do a vendor thing, do a breakfast thing on the Sunday.
Brunch.
Because then you're feeding everyone before. Yeah, it's early, but the thing is you're getting up early anyway for the show. As long as you're not hungover, but whatever. That's
or like Friday after setup, because that's really 7. A lot of people do dinners then too. But what if it was at the venue?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can even do that, right? You can bring in the catering. But ours is a convention center. They'll do catering.
Yeah, I just think
Catalina wine mixer snake show.
Oh, fuck. I'm just gonna make a whole circuit called the Catalina wine mixer. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That'd be funny.
No one will go, but
hey, chat. Who's going to attend this Catalina wine mixer?
Catalina fucking wine mixer!
Catalina fucking wine mixer. We need chat support.
Oh.
Chat support.
I don't know if they're still here.
No, they're gone apparently. Nobody's responding.
Just Matt's here.
They're just like, fuck you guys. You guys are talking about Catalina wine mixers. I don't want to upgrade my shows. Just give me snakes for cheap. Snakes.
Right, I would pay. I don't know how to put it. Fuck that. You know what? A Catalina wine mixer.
Emma's in. There we go. Gecko people. She's got a logo for geckos. I don't know. Speaking of shows, do you think we should separate all wild caughts? Ours already doesn't allow it. We don't allow it anymore.
Or at least clear labeling.
But I think clear labeling,
like a big sticker that the show promoter prints for them, and it's like yellow with WC, and so it's like very clear that these ones are wild caught at this table.
Right, that's fair. And then we also have signs that say like our animals are not exotic; we're specialty pet keepers. So we are a specialty pet. Like ball pythons and crested geckos are specialty pets. They're not exotic anymore. You could argue, and I've had this argument, that they are virtually domesticated at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
By definition of domestic, like it's a little nuanced, but you can definitely fit it in. They're so highly bred that they are so far away from the wild counterparts.
You just need them to start decoupling from like. I mean, we still import a lot, so I don't know how decoupled we are, but like the biggest definition that to me fits is it's obviously a tolerance of humans, which you can like argue because it's like could be acquired. But the biggest one is when they decouple reproductive tendencies.
Which we already did with ball pythons. We don't have the rainy season anymore.
Yeah, sort of, but they need to like do it more. Like, you know how dogs will go into heat twice a year, sometimes 3 times a year. They're crazy. Wolves are once a year. So it's like increased fecundity because they're just like so happy to be alive.
Right.
And they'll cycle way extra. Goats are supposed to be once a year. They do it twice a year too.
Right.
So that kind of stuff is like clear metabolic changes in their body where they're like, I'm just so happy, I just want to breed all the time.
Right, but ball pythons kind of do that already, right?
Right. I've had female ball pythons. I'll be
They're
like,
unseasonal.
or like lay twice in a year, like a calendar year.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've never really heard of that. That's crazy. But that's exactly my point about
They're
domestication.
just so happy. They're like, I'm gonna
But that's my point about domestication.
build follicles on the other side.
Right. I heard they have like 2 or 3 sets of follicles anyway that just grow.
Have you ever dissected any reptile that's female?
Not in a really long time. No, I can say no.
Okay. Well, if you open them up, you get like the follicles that are for like this year, the follicles that are for like next year, and
Right.
like little bitty ones.
So like the following.
So there's like so there's like
there are 3 sets, right?
Yeah, and they probably go down to like microscopic ones, but they're like
right.
Yeah, these ones are like a good clutch, and then there's like you can see another set that's like another good clutch, and then obviously split between each ovary.
Right.
And you're like, oh, okay. I mean, I dissected a lot of turtles in college. That's why I know. Right. And so they'll like pick which ones, like, oh, these ones are pretty good. And so they'll like jack those ones up, but they're always like carrying around a bunch. And if you ultrasound a ball python, you can see the second set, the hidden set. That's like the second biggest behind the big ones.
Lisa can breed her southern white-lipped pythons to breed whenever she chooses.
That's domesticated. Cool. They're basically puppy dogs.
No, I am traumatized from white-lipped pythons. No, not playing that game. Traumatized.
Yeah.
I used to work for a pretty big importer / pet store, and no, traumatized with white lips. Evil motherfucker.
Did they bite you in the somewhere special, or
no? They just constantly want to bite you. Constantly.
Are they like hognose snakes?
No, they're just constantly wiry, just super. Just go away. I don't like them. They're very pretty. They're so wiry and so annoying.
Lisa is mad that you said that.
I'm sure she is. I think they're very pretty and they're very set for certain people. They are definitely a snake lovers kind of snake, not a reptile lover snake.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know if anyone's ever heard that differentiation. Like hognose and ball pythons and corns are like, I like reptiles. These are perfect pets, right?
Mm-hmm.
White-lipped pythons are like, you have to be a snake lover to want a white-lipped python for its entire life.
Or like a person who self-identifies as an advanced hobbyist.
Pardon?
Or somebody who self-identifies as like an advanced hobbyist.
Yeah.
There are people who like. I've been on like, I don't know, like an art kick, like watching like the popular reptile artists like Derptiles and some other people.
Okay.
And I've just been looking at what species composition they choose to make cute art of. And that's been really interesting. Because it's all the ones you would expect. But they're obviously someone who likes things. But then they'll make cute forms of like milk frogs and whatever, like popular but niche cute species. So if anybody wants to like predict the next hognose, I would start looking at like art trends. Because whatever really people are raising up in their art, and like cute reptile art.
The next marshmallow.
Yeah, it could be a milk frog, actually.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Right, because it's like obviously like skinks, bearded dragons, cute turtles, cute leopard geckos, cute garters, cute corns, cute ball pythons, like bananas and stuff.
Cute
but now it's like starting to be like different, very specific frogs, and I'm like,
I can see that. Don't forget when there was like, don't forget the up here we had Telus commercials to have the red-eyed green tree frogs were all over the TV, and everyone wanted them, right? Because they look so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And same as the Geico gecko, right? Day gecko.
Did people buy a lot of day geckos because of that, though?
I bet they do. I bet there's a lot of inquiries. Maybe not purchases at the end of the day, but a lot of inquiries, I guarantee you.
Emma, check in. They're just so like flighty and weird. I almost feel like they're going to get shunted to a crest gecko.
But I think it was the Williams eye. They were very popular like a few years ago. Like I remember just people were going nuts for day geckos. The electric blues.
Yeah, they're still pretty popular.
Yeah, but they were like more so. They're still popular. They're still cool to look at. But no, thank you to day geckos. They're so flighty, skin so
Yeah,
sensitive.
I don't think kids should have a
standing day gecko.
No. But I do think kids can have lots of kinds of geckos quite happily.
Cave geckos. Cave geckos.
I know, cave geckos are cool, but they're kind of little shits. I don't know if I would give them to a kid. They don't want you to hold them.
Fair.
What do you think about that? They're
African
just like
fattails are best in my opinion. They're so
they're
lazy.
cute.
They are so lazy. They're better than leopards, I think.
I haven't had one in a long time. It died. It was from Triple L, by the way.
That's not surprising.
Everyone wonders why I have weird feelings, but that's why.
Let's look at African fattails on Morph Market, everyone.
I like a lot of them, like the whiteouts and the Zulus and stuff.
Does anyone in chat think there's the next coming of the ball python? Does anyone have any thoughts that think it's something it's ever going to be toppled?
Like a new species?
Yeah.
Here's what I think is going to happen, and then chat can respond because it takes a while for chat to go in. I think there will be no new ball python. I think just the idea of bioactive vivariums or whatever will be the new ball python. You
agree.
can put whatever little species you want in it, a mantis, a frog, whatever, but just that whole segment will take up what used to be livestock real estate space.
I agree.
In the whole show.
I think we're getting more closer to the fish aquarium hobby in that regard, where people just want really nice planted tanks with a few fish and stuff like that. I think we're moving towards that terrarium look, especially with a lot more products out the way they are these days and the way there's more knowledge in the bioactivity that we get that.
Right. So that means all large animals, all of them, will just decrease in market share.
Well, I think that's been right on the wall for a long time. It's been slower than I thought, only because so many new morphs came out of them and people just chase money. Doesn't matter the species. And I think giants, and it'll keep going down. If you want to always be popular, max out your max size at 5-6 feet.
Oh, I don't even mean large as in retics. I mean
sure,
not fitting in a 36 by 24 by 18 exoteric. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
I think even core snakes, ball pythons, boas, very good, reasonable pets. All of those will decrease market share together because people will want to buy a $20 jumping spider.
Yes, jumping spiders are super popular right now. They're very pretty.
Right. Just across the board, people will still want all of those things. People will still breed all of those things. People will put those in bioactive. People will not put those in bioactive. But the collective human walking into a reptile show wants more of an experience.
Yes.
And not just more animals.
That rings. Yes. I believe that rings true.
Lisa said no new ball python, period.
I agree with Lisa. That's my personal opinion, but I figured I'd ask chat because chat's here. They should have.
And Jason said, I think all BP buyers are going to get interested in less picky, more intermediate snakes. I don't know about all of them. Well, but some of them.
I do agree. Well, I've always believed ball pythons are a big gateway into the hobby, which is why I particularly take a little, I try not to, but I take a little offense to the idea when people shit on them so hard. And I'm like, you don't get the popularity of other species without people getting into the hobby in one way or another, right? And then they enter through ball pythons or crescent geckos, and they find what they might really like, and they go there, and you wouldn't have the market. You wouldn't have the availability and the prices that we have and the captive bred if you didn't have just more people getting the hobby and more demand, right?
Right.
When people crap on ball pythons and say, they should be at shows and stuff, it's but they drive so much foundation across the board.
But will they drive it in the future? I guess. Because
I don't think it's ever going to stop.
But what if it's the plants or some shit? That's
as long as
the turning of the tide is.
Well, the hobbyist is still going to want hobby animals, right? You can do all this stuff with.
But are they going to buy those at pet stores? I guess is my question. Is the composition of who is selling what the first snake? Obviously, most snakes are sold first to someone at a pet store. Period.
Yeah. Period.
But the person who's I want to go to an exotic show. When they go in now, do they want just a pet, or do they want the experience? And I think in the more affluent areas, for sure, they're going for experience. In cheaper shows, it feels like they're just like, I just want a $20 snake.
Well, they might also
Keep it
do
alive.
it. You could do it in a cheaper way too, right? You can do tubs and stuff for bioactives. You can do it on the cheap, but I can't.
I'm saying, like, I don't
question.
know if ball pythons are going to be the gateway animal anymore.
I think
you could have
still
said
gonna
that
be...
about corn snakes 10 years ago, but I don't think you're saying that now.
No, because ball python
like
prices came down.
Right. The corn snakes are like the weird animal now.
Yeah, I know. I'm really close to a pet store owner close to my house. She tells me, she's like, a few years ago, she's like, I can't get corn snakes. Everyone gave up breeding corn snakes. Mm-hmm. Everyone moved over to ball pythons. And she's like, I can't get corn snakes. Obviously, she does get some, but they're way more expensive than they used to be. And
right, you used
even
to
ball python wholesales are expensive, right? $70 at pet stores. I'm like, that's expensive.
For what?
For like a single gene, whatever. Like that's retail
like
price to me, right? No, ball python.
Oh.
Pinstripe. Corn snakes are like $50, 40, 50.
That's still better than it is down here.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. Tranches are what's hot these days at shows. Same as jumping spiders. Inverts are popular. Mm-hmm. I think all that stuff stays popular. Like, I don't think ball python popularity is going to go down. They're just in your face all the time. And I think that's still going to be a lot of people's first options. They come in too many colors at a really good price and colors that you can't find anywhere else. Very docile, relatively easy to keep with very little issues, right?
I think they look like something for a cheap price. Does that make any sense? What I said? Like they look like a tropical snake, like a python,
like an exotic animal.
Yes. Like lots of other cheap snakes, like corn snakes, and even hognose to some extent, look like native snakes.
Yeah.
So like everyone's like, I want something weird but cheap. Ball python. Just to their eyeballs, it looks weird.
But especially if they're buying something that needs to be relatively like smaller kept. Whereas if you want they're scared of the 8-footer, right? Possibly, or a 6-foot male. They're like, I can handle that, but 6-foot males are pretty big.
Mm-hmm. I think if something was going to replace ball pythons, it would have to like be python looking and fit all the other like all the other requirements, but be still python looking.
I'd hitch my wagon to African house snakes if they had actual morphs, like more.
I'd hitch my wagon to them if their heads were big and their snoots were upturned or something weird. But I think they're more for like to me, they're more a hobbyist cool thing.
They are, but I mean, if you have a lot of morphs, you generally can turn things, right? Yeah, I know lots of stores sell things for just like whatever price, but it is kind of is. I think bloods are not going to do it. They just can be too ornery, and their temperamental just not quite there to hit the thing. Nah. AHS doesn't really have 30 morphs. They have a lot of localities, stuff we can't get. There's albinos. There's like blacks aren't a morph. The KZN reds are not really a morph. They're just a locality. I want albinos. They have T positive, T negative. They have butters. They have hypo. They have leucistic. They're getting there, but they're not really there unless somebody's hiding something. And I just don't know, which is possible.
I like the blue-eyed Lucy's.
They're very cool.
Or they should really be called like blue-eyed hypos or something.
There's Lucy Great Bandit King snakes.
They're kind of weird.
But I would want a Great Bandit King snake.
I like
blue, orange, right?
Right. I like the hypo gray bands better because they look like gray, orange.
Yeah, blood pythons have been tamed down. Sorry to answer the chat. They are been tamed down. I know that, but they're still just not like out of the egg. They're just not the same as ball pythons.
I think it's mostly a size problem.
I think that's part of it too.
Like the female size problem. It's like selling somebody a boa, and we've seen like.
I think they're more similar to boas, like the python version of a boa.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with blood pythons, even if they're very docile, it's very difficult to read them for the basic average keeper, right? Because they're ambush predators. They follow you with your eyes, and then they just kind of strike. They don't give the same kind of notices that other species do.
I was speaking of
Mine
fat
was super
snakes that
nice,
live on the
but-
ground. Should gaboon vipers be $275?
Well, the venomous world is so cheap because nobody
USD.
wants venomous, right?
What about green mambas? Should those be $250?
If you want to take ball python money into the venomous world, you'd be the king of venomous.
Should that be
Like,
anything sub $1,000? Like,
no. Well, monocled cobras are super cheap, true, right?
should they be made if they have to be that cheap?
I mean, you're asking the wrong. I'm not really for venomous keeping. I don't think it's wrong. I just think at large, most people shouldn't be doing it. I sold a pied female ball python to a guy, and he's like, "Oh, hey, you want to see my cobras?" And he showed me these cool cobras. I'm like, "Cool." I'm like, "That's cool, man. They're not mine. I'm happy." And yeah, Elevate Morse, right? You really need to know how to work with ball pythons. They're absolutely terrestrial. They do not like the average one does not like to be like without feeling comfortable in the air, right? That gets a lot of people. You can't just swing around like people do with ball pythons.
Mm-hmm. They act like tuna fish, like literally like a tuna pulled out of the water.
Yeah. Jason's right about the African house snakes. They are pygmy pythons. They constrict. They are so amazing. But I find I'm a super nerd for African house snakes, and I know not everyone is.
$550 shipped.
My zoomed-up pin viper. That's pretty cheap, though.
I know, but that's what I don't know. I just went to a show. There was a lot of venomous at it, and I was like,
Gaboons should not be $275. Like
a
they're
gaboon
not
viper.
like they're like. I know they're relatively easy to keep, but they're super. Like they should be more money.
Right, to keep it cool for the cool kids only. Only someone who's experienced and prepared.
Right.
$1,000.
I don't deal with. I dealt with venomous once when I was in like college. I didn't deal with it again.
All right, Aaron. I think we did it. What are your final thoughts on the springtime of youth and going into summer?
We're going to see a continual decline of snakes available, and everyone just be confident and breed your snakes. Super popular. Demand is only going to increase.
Over the summer?
Yeah.
I doubt it.
That's fine. I'm going to be positive. Positive Thursday.
I think demand will increase through the spring, and it will go back to that weird, like, we'll be selling down inventory all spring. But once, like, July hits, I feel like everybody goes on vacation for 2 months. Then we'll have, like, a pick back up in the fall. But then, like, the inventory will hit. So
I think it's going to be a steady decline. I think we'll see 35,000 by July on Morph Market.
I'm trying to decide if I can fit a trend line in the next 2 minutes. Because I could, like, guess when it will happen.
Just by July 1st, randomly going to guess.
35,000?
Yeah, I'm probably going to be wrong, but that's fine. I'll be positive.
So it went down. Let's try to from 45 to
we are
42 in 2 months. No, 1 month. So it's like 3,000 a month.
Gets a lot. Yeah, we're at 38.8 right now. So
3,000 a month ish. I mean, we could be there before then.
See? If I get it, I'm going to be like, I did it. See, I'm brilliant. Everyone just follow my advice for ball python sales.
All right. And then if people like this format, I will keep doing them, I guess, but it's a real pain in the ass because Morph Market ruined how it does like list view. It's almost like not worth it because I have to click in every single one to make sure. What about if you?
I like the stock report, but what about if you did them every 4 months instead of every quarter and just do it in threes, or do it every 6 months instead?
Maybe every 6 months.
6 months, I think, would be better. I think people could see the trend a lot more over 6 months. 3 months, people still don't really believe it.
Well, the trend would be occluded in 6 months because then it would include higher prices from earlier in the time and lower prices or vice versa mixed together. To me, like when you combine a whole year together, like whatever, here, 2016 or something, the beginning of the year is invariably like $600-700, and the end of the year it's like $500 or whatever, and you get a mean, right? But like, so if you split it by quarter, you do get to see like these little bumps and weird behavior, but I just don't know if they matter. They probably don't matter,
right?
I just think, I don't know if it really matters that much to people, really. Like collectively, everyone's like, I'll do what I want anyway and price it the way that I want anyway. And I don't care what you say.
I don't know. We'll just see what happens. Sell your snakes.
All right.
Produce
Yeah,
snakes, sell your snakes.
We'll see. If I feel like it, I'll do it in the summer. If not, I'll do like a fall double.
Yeah. That also
if that
works.
makes sense.
Maybe just do it after the big show. You could just do it after the big shows.
Well, the idea was to like collate, like retroactively, whatever everybody's thoughts were, hypothetically, what the price should be. So going into the next quarter, you could be like, the mean was this, so start here instead of starting at whatever the current inventory was on Morph Market.
Right.
You know what
That's
I mean?
fair.
Because solds are different. Solds are comps. Current listings are
they mean nothing.
Attempts,
almost, right? Yeah,
they
mean nothing.
Right. These are the comps.
Yeah. What it sold for is more important than anything else.
Correct. And most people don't look at comps when looking at prices. They look at what's currently for sale. So that's the point. But I don't know if it really fucking matters.
People are going to do what they do.
That's right. Including me and you.
That's right.
We had a lot of cool people check in today. Thanks everybody for coming. Canadian shout out. Woo!
That's right.
All right. Let's say goodbye.
Goodbye,
all right.
everyone.
Next week, I'll have Nick on and talk about the All-American Plant at Reptile Expo. See how many plants will really be there.
A lot.
Who knows?
Thousands.
We'll be like
thousands.
TPing plants.
Can I stop waving now? This is
nope.
weird.
Keep going.